Hey, what's up, y'all? It's B. Avery here, back for another episode of Just My Opinion, talking Love is Blind, Season 3, Episode 6, titled Return to Reality, transitions back into their everyday lives in Dallas. The couples navigate frank conversations around finances and meet each other's families. Now, of course, guys, this is going to be spoiler filled. That is your warning. And if this is your first time finding me, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment, leave a thumbs up on what you think about the show so far. I am super duper entertained by this, like I said. And if you haven't seen my past recaps for episode 1 and 2, episodes 3 and 4, or episodes 5, you can go ahead and click the links that are on my channel after you subscribe, or they're in the description box of this video. Now, we ended the last episode with Colleen and Matt and Colleen seeming like they was gonna break up. He felt disrespected. He felt that Colleen was not taking this relationship seriously, as she's flirting with other men, as she's flirting with Cole at the pool, talking about, hey, in the real world, if we got some drinks and we just gonna see what happens, it happens, and all that. And at the same time, I was not mad at Matt for feeling that way, and I was like, man, he is really done. He is really done, and Colleen is crying. But the way the episode starts off is they have got it together. They have talked things out over the night, and they are back together. This morning, we were able to communicate through what had happened, and yeah, they worked it out. And he said something interesting, like, yeah, he was saying like it's not as a big a deal as we made it out to be. Really, what he made it out to be, but I don't think he was making a big deal about it. I think he was rightful in his claim if it went down the exact way that he explained it to, like the cameraman or the producer behind the scenes. I mean, they showed us, but I didn't really think that he was making a big deal about it. But I am kind of glad that they were able to talk and work things out, because, hey, I want everybody to find love. I want everybody to be happy, no matter how you find it, if it's unorthodox or not, like this show, proposing to somebody after 9 or 10 days after never meeting them. But I was happy to see that they are back together. But the next scene right here, we're at the pool and we got Nick and his wife, and they are introducing all the couples and kind of put everybody on Front Street like, hey, Matt, I know that you were in a chokehold in love, but y'all had some issues. And, you know, of course, everybody was going to see this anyway, but it's on Front Street now. And now that they're going to be able to get along, and all the couples do look concerned, but they do look good together. And I'm happy. I'm liking this. I mean, they got the phones back, like, hey, I'm Bertice. You know, I'm nice to meet you. I'm going to be marrying your daughter and all that. And so, I mean, I can't remember the longest I've gone without having my cell phone. And it's crazy. I mean, we take it everywhere we go, to the shower, to the bathroom, just everywhere. And if we don't have our phone on us, you know, we just feel naked. And so I don't know how long these couples had to not have their phones on each other, but they're just now getting it back. And, you know, it's a nice Kodak moment, especially this right here, you know, with Bartiz saying, hey, I'm in love with your daughter, and yada, yada, yada. You know, that's just, and what is her name? Arendira. I'm butchering that. Sorry about that, guys. But, you know, Bartiz and Nancy and Bartiz, they're getting along and meeting the parents. And we got some more smooching, some more affection coming from SK and Raven. Now, she kind of does have the butt sticking out, church hug type vibes. And I thought it was kind of cool where they did like the little handshake thing and then kissed or whatever. I mean, they're not like passionately, you know, showing affection, but it is a step up, you know, from the previous episodes. And so, hey, as long as we get some progress, you know, I'm not tripping, but they're getting along as well, going back to Dallas and all that good stuff. And now we have Cole. And I will say this about Cole. I was not feeling him in the first few episodes in the show. I thought he was childish. I know I said that for the last episode. But this episode right here, I have to say, I like Cole a lot more. He seems like a much more grounded person, seems a bit more mature, like he will take on responsibilities if he has to. And I like him in this scene, in this episode. I really do. I think he was, you know, doing a pretty good job. And also, guys, one of the other couples that I'm pretty confident are going to make it is Alexa, Brennan, and Alexa. And they're just talking about living space and all of that. And he's like, hey, you know, I know how to present myself well, but I don't have a lot of clothes. I just need like a little space right here. And that's all cool. And they're back in Dallas in Landmark. I know exactly. I mean, and if y'all didn't know, I do live in Dallas. I reside in Dallas. And so all these landmarks and haha, that's what's on the building. all these structures, and you know, I am familiar with all this. I know where everything is just about, and so that's pretty cool. But hey, it's nice. She is jumping in the bed, about to elbow him in the chest. I'm just playing, guys. We all know that that did not happen. But they are. It's not all the way. They're not as passionate as the other couples, but they are getting a bit better. And that's cool. And she does look good sitting up on that island like that. And she says, hey, I want to wait to have sex until after marriage. And she's saying, I know it'll be kind of hard with them living together and they just may mess up. And I am getting multiple personalities from Raven, and that's a good thing, not a bad, but it's like every episode I see her, I'm seeing more of her personality that I did not see before. It's kind of been consistent with all the other men and women, but I don't know. It's just something about Raven that's interesting. You know, she just kind of opening up a bit more as each episode goes, and I like it. I like it, and it's also entertaining. But the way that she hugs is still weird to me. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe that's just her, or I don't know. But it's just kind of weird to me, kind of the way she does that. You guys let me know if I'm tripping or not, okay? Because I'm very curious about that. And this is like, hey, we may mess up. We may get it in. We may want to do the freaky deaky. And okay, there's nothing wrong with that right there. But I also like this. They're talking about shopping at the Nigerian grocery store. He's teaching her the culture, saying, hey, if this is Yoruba, and I have a number of Nigerian friends, so I am familiar with that. But what I am not familiar with is Bawani, if that's like a greeting of hello to an elder or somebody kind of at your same age, if I understood that correctly. But I think he said Harfoot. I could be, that sounds like I'm talking about Lord of the Rings or something like that. I don't, Harfor, I said Harfoot, Harfor. I don't have an image for it, but he was like, no, you cannot say that to my mother. So please forgive me if I butchered the name there. But I like that she is open to the culture and trying to learn. Later on, when she met the mother, she was saying, hey, she's worried about that she's not going to be accepted in the whole Nigerian community. And the way they edited this preview, this like not the episode, but the preview, they made it seem like the mom was not feeling Raven at all, but that's not the case. But I don't want to jump too far ahead. We will get there. But right now, we are at Zanab and Cole and Zanab again. And I'm liking this. Really, I really am liking their relationship. I do. She looks, I mean, it is a big difference right here to me. The makeup that she has on. I mean, she looks good. I mean, she's cute either way. But I did notice. I was like, oh, man, okay. I kind of see what y'all was saying earlier, you know, that it's quite interesting, you know, her look with or without makeup. It's different. I'm not knocking. I'm not saying that she looks bad or anything like that. But, you know, I can't tell myself. But it also does suck because if I get married, I could not imagine my mom or dad not being there, or my family, my brother. And if they didn't approve of the wedding, if they didn't approve of my wife, you know, I don't know what I would do. My dad was joking with me recently, like, hey, Brandon, I want this to be your wife. I want this to be your baby. My mom was like, yeah, I don't see that happening, you know, but he wants me to marry to somebody, but he whether he's joking or not, I don't know. We didn't really talk about it, but I don't know. I just thought about that, but it is kind of sucky right now that Cole is like, yeah, I don't really have their approval right now, and that sucks. And that will come up later on, which is pretty important. So, you know, that is very interesting right there. I've never lived with a woman before, but that's what Nancy Bartise and Nancy are talking about right here. And just trying to, you know, make sure that, you know, they don't step on each other's toes. It's kind of interesting that they was having a conversation about washing and the socks being kind of munched up together. I'm just like, man, is that like a thing? Like, I don't know. I mean, I know how to wash clothes. I know how to, I mean, I may have some clothes on the floor right now. Actually, I don't. If I look around, you know, I got a couple of clothes on the couch, but I live by myself. You know what I'm saying? But if I live, I have had roommates before. I've never had a female or woman roommate before. And, you know, if I ever do that, it'll be my wife. But I'm just saying, like, I will make sure all my clothes are up just to be considerate and all that stuff. And so, yeah, it's just interesting. And she's cute. They're cute. And I was like, as soon as she got on the bed with her, I was kind of like, why are you way over there too? You know what I'm saying? Go. And you know, he called her out on it. And now they kind of cuddling together. But, you know, that was kind of cute right there too. Now, now Matt, your boy, is back all in love. All, hell yeah. You know, he's really happy. I can't blame him. But I'm glad that they was able to kind of resolve their issues and work things out, because I want them to make it as well. But, you know, he seems happy. And so hopefully, you know, that can, you know, remain that way for quite some time because I want them to win too. And guys, it's like less than 3 weeks away to the marriage. I mean, I think it's 19 days to be exact. And man, I am so used to seeing that highway right there is Highway Interstate 35. And of course, that's downtown Dallas, but that is 35. And this is my neighborhood. I know, like, I know all of this right here. Man. I'm loving it. Is that Lusteris? No, that's not. I'm tripping. I thought that was a jail. But now we are back at Raven and SK. And Raven definitely needs her coffee in the morning. She seems like she's a little upset, a little irritated, a little bothered if she does not get her coffee. And look at your boy SK trying to be a gentleman talking about, hey, I'm not going to tell you guys exactly what happened. But I will say that we had a good time, you know what I'm saying? It was fun, and hey, I like it. I love it, you know what I'm saying? They had a good time. All that kissing, hugging, and booty rubbing they was doing, you know. But yeah, she definitely needs coffee, you know, and she's still pretty with her makeup, you know. I like that, and that's all cool in the game right there. But we gotta get your girl some coffee, and we gotta have SK taking those late night Nigerian calls out the room. You know, you can't be calling at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning loud while somebody trying to sleep. Like, come on now. Now I understand the people they might not, they understand the concept of a time zone, a time difference, but they're just not used to having to abide by because they can call SK anytime. So it's just going to be some adjustments like, hey, I know that we've always talked around this time, but I got a wife and we can't be talking this early in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is interesting right here. Talking about finances, and she has a lot of ties to her ex that she still works with, and that is important. And I like the way they was able to get it out. But your boy Bartiz is like, I kind of feel like some information was hidden because they have all these properties and, you know, it was just a realtor. But that's important. Like, if the ex stops making the mortgage payments, it falls back on Nancy to do that. And we don't want no messed up credit or anything, foreclosures. And so, yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal to like, hey, I have a mortgage with somebody else. I mean, if I understood that correctly, you know, but you have to talk about these things. You know, they say that majority of the reason why marriages don't last is because of finances, because of money. I could be wrong, but I think I did hear that one day as I was just going around through my day. But yeah, this is a lot right here for Bartiz to take in. And so I don't blame him. You know, if he's a little bit skeptical, I would be too. But they definitely needed to have the conversation, and I'm really, really glad that they did. And again, yeah, you have to talk about finances. And your girl, Alexa, made it clear that she is not broke, that she does have a bit of money, some change, a little bit of wealth. And, you know, he's about $32,000 in debt right now, and that is manageable, you know, paid it off in a number of years. But he made a comment like, oh, it's clear that you have more money than me. I mean, they're in love. I don't know if I would say anything like that, but, you know, you guys let me know what you think. But, of course, they're having to have this conversation about the finances and all that, and it is very, very important. You cannot not talk about finances, and so I'm glad that they're all kind of hashing this out right here. And Raven was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to shit on myself. I don't know, everybody's talking about shit. At least she wasn't half naked in the tub like Cole, not Cole, but like Bartiz and Nancy was. But she is finally about to meet the mother and the brother. And guys, this was perfect. This was perfect. You know what? And look at this right here. They just all smiling and giggling and smiling. And I thought that she wasn't going to like her, but she does like her. And the last concern was, you know, hey, like I said earlier, she's just concerned that the Nigerian community is not going to accept her. The food looked good. I mean, they're cooking in there. I mean, was there some greens and I don't know what else, but it looked good. And, you know, the culture is the culture. You know, they was like, this is how you do it. You can chew it, you can swallow it. And she was like, can I use a fork? I'm glad that she was like, hey, you know, can I use a fork? Now, just looking at Raven so far, I think that after a while, if things do work out with SK, I think that she will be able to adapt more and more to the culture and use her fingers, you know, if need be. You know, this is something that she wasn't used to. But I really am glad that the mother and the brother did not like, just turn up their face. Oh my God, you want to use a fork? Oh my, why can't you adapt? It's like, okay, I didn't grow up this way. Be patient. But this is wonderful. I love all this right here. I did not expect this. And it's just interesting because Raven and SK and Raven was the couple that I not think was going to make it at all, but they're getting better. And then they hit it off right here, meeting the family. And so that's just pretty dope right there. I like it. And it was just also nice hearing them say that we're going to combine the cultures of the marriage. We're going to have some Nigerian culture and also some Black American culture. So I just think that's beautiful. And I'm just like, hey, I want them to make it. I want them to make it. I want them to make it. But now we got Nancy and Bartice again. Bartice and Nancy meeting the family. And she was saying that, hey, my family's divorced. So first, they have to meet the father's side, the brothers and the father. But then later on, they're going to meet the mother. And yeah, I was thinking to myself, okay, the family, of course, has to be in on this because as they're coming in, the camera crew is already inside. And so I kind of just wondered what those behind the scenes conversations were like. But for the most part, I think this went really well. The only thing I really didn't like was we didn't get to see, that's the dad and the brothers, but we didn't really get to see a conversation at all between Bartice and the dad. It was Bartice and the brothers. And so I don't know if he doesn't speak English, or I don't know, maybe he was just camera shy or something. I don't know, but that was just kind of weird to me. I just kind of wanted to see that. But this guy here just like, hey, man, let's get you drunk. The truth comes out. And, I am the little brother, but I'm older than you. I got a big laugh out of that. I did. And then they're going to ask the question talking about, hey, you still going to love my sister if she gains 400 pounds? I'd be like, no, like I would not have any shame of that. The only way I would still, because it's through sickness and health. If it was a health reason, yes, I would still be there and take care of my wife and try to help motivate her and keep her disciplined. Like Barty said about, diet and exercise. Like I wouldn't even allow it to get that far. But if my wife were just to like, I don't give a damn and just wanted to let herself go and ignore me while I try to be like, hey babe, let's do this, let's do that. No, I'm not. No, that's just not going to work out. Through sickness and health, yeah. But if you just want to be lazy, I wouldn't. No. But I don't really just think that happens. People just, well, I don't know. I don't want to make any assumptions. Everybody's life is different and all that. But I was just like, it was just interesting that he asked this question right here. I was also laughing. He was like, so why you love my sister? You picked her out of everybody. And he gave his reasons. He was like, yeah, I kind of feel you, but it's kind of bland. I'm not really impressed by that. I was like, dang, but that's what you got to do, man. You got to send the dudes through the ringer. Males know males. Males and men know how men are. And I'm going to be the same. I don't have a sister, but I would be the same damn way. Or if I have a daughter, hopefully I have a son or a daughter one day. I just want some kids at this time. But if I have a daughter, man, he is definitely getting the business. I'm going to be reading him up and down like, hey, you better take care of my girl or I'm going to beat that ass, and I think they would beat Bartice's ass too, or at least attempt to. They just love their sister, and he's like, hey, I would be doing the same thing as well, and so that's just dope. But now I like the mother. I like the mother even more, and I have to say, right here in this scene, Nancy looks really pretty. I don't know, like to me, this is the most prettiest I've seen her throughout the whole show, and I love all this right here. I love the mom. I like that she was like, hey, I do bail bonds and I have to read people as a living and I can tell if you're full of crap or not. And I just like this. And she's like, hey, do you have money? Are you going to be able to afford my daughter? All these are important questions and it should be had. If the family wasn't asking all these questions, I would think that there would be something wrong. But I like it all. I like it all. But now, guys, this is where I was talking about how I really do like Cole in this episode and the story of Zanab. And I kind of feel bad because we're all products of our environment. We're all cut from different cloths. And I was talking about how insecure insecure Zanab is. But at the same time, now, especially after seeing this episode, you can understand even more because she has a hole that she's trying to fill. And she... we've all, my parents are still alive, but we've all had holes that we're trying to fill. And hers is her family, even though she has been loved by her stepmother, that it's just interesting. But this is nice right here. She meets Beverly, she meets Ryan, the stepbrother, and Zanab's stepmother. And I love all this right here. And she's talking about when her dad passed away. And man, I can just only imagine just what they can do to somebody. 13, your dad passes away. 18, your mom passes away. Like, Oh, that's just like I man. But Zanab is strong for that, so I like Zanab. You know, I don't mean to talk crap about her. You know, I will. You know, yeah, I don't mean to talk crap about her, but I like all this. Do you see this woman as your queen? Yes, absolutely. And I just felt a lot of maturity coming from Cole. I didn't, like I said before, I really wasn't like him early on, but I am liking him a lot now. And when they get to know each other, him and the mom, this, you know, he was like, I couldn't, you know, propose if, you know, we didn't have the same faith. But this is conversation right now about how important family is. I loved it, and I did gain a level of respect for Cole. And he just saying like, look, I'm. It's great to meet you, but my parents are not there yet, and I respect his parents for that. I mean, I like if you know everybody else's parents that was okay with this, that's fine. But at the same time, I would probably look at my son or daughter too, like, really, what are you doing? You accepted a marriage, and you've only been knowing this person for 10 days. This is nuts. This is nuts. This is nuts. And I'm not mad at his family for feeling that way. But this was a nice conversation right here. I like that, especially the line that she said that Zanab came home crying, like, hey, I just realized that I've been with you more now since I've been with my mother, you know. And so that just kind of explains a lot right there. And I like that we were able to, you know, get under the skin beneath just to see, you know, where these characters, participants come from. And so I'm liking all this. And like I said, I am really feeling Cole right now. He has stepped it up. And I think that's wonderful that they prayed as well. That's just a beautiful thing. That's just a really, really beautiful thing. Now, this right here was interesting to me when they was talking about their time talking about finances and stuff. And SK was saying that his lease is up in a number of months. And she was saying that she wants to live a certain lifestyle. She doesn't look at prices at the grocery store and Whole Foods. I mean, you know, if you know Whole Foods, that is more of a higher price grocery store. I look at prices. But one of the things that bother me, the same thing that SK said, is her lack of she's not able to compromise because she wants to keep her house or apartment and him still go into school in California, and they just go back and forth. But she also made a comment to where even if he is not living there, because they're married, she still feels like he should pay the rent. Look, couples can do whatever they want to do, whatever makes you happy, do what works for you. That just kind of came across weird to me. Also, her saying that I'm independent, but I want to live a more lavish lifestyle after I'm married. It just didn't seem like she would be contributing to that lifestyle. I could be wrong the way I interpreted it, but that did kind of rub me the wrong way. I mean, me personally, I plan on being the provider, the breadwinner. I mean, I would like to. I mean, and I'm not tripping if my wife makes more money than me. You know, I just want to be able to make a respectable amount. I mean, if I'm making 150, 275, 300,000, but she's making 800, I wouldn't feel shamed by that. You know what I'm saying? Because I still make a respectable, you know, salary that's hard working or represents hard work, you know. But if she's making 175 and I'm only making 40K a year, that will make me feel some type of way, and that's not reality, you know. In my situation, I'm just kind of saying. But that was interesting to me right there. That was interesting to me. You know, he wants to do his. She was $500 on hair, and you know, I mean, I don't know how much woman's hair is. I've never paid for any woman to get her hair done or anything like that. But yeah, that's just kind of interesting to me. But you guys let me know what you think about all this. But I don't know. He's going to be going to school full time in California. We get married by a house, and I don't know. That was just really interesting to me. But I'm really curious to see what you guys' thoughts are as far as that's concerned. Now, this was a really interesting conversation right here. First, they was talking about washing clothes, and that was funny. But they was talking about abortion and pro-choice. Me personally, I'm a pro-choice type of guy. I feel ultimately, of course, it is the woman's decision. I was talking to my dad and my mom the other day about this, and they both disagree with me because I was saying that I was like, I think that the only time a male should have a say so, and when I say so, I don't mean like put his foot down and that's law. I just mean just giving his opinion is if he's the father of the child. Like, hey, babe, I'm pregnant. Should we keep it? Should we not? I think it's still ultimately up to the woman, yes, but I think that he should still be able to say something, and of course, it's still the woman's decision. And some people disagree with that. Like, I'm just saying, if I was married and my wife is pregnant and she doesn't want to keep the child and she just aborts it without even telling me, I would feel some type of way about it. Even if we're not married and I get a woman pregnant and she just aborts it without saying something, of course it's her body and her choice, but I would still appreciate it if she says something. And maybe if she doesn't want to keep the child, but I do, maybe I get somebody pregnant and I'm 43 years old, or I'm 48 and I don't have any kids. I'm well off financially, I'm well off healthy, and I can take care of the child. But she's young and she can't, because for whatever reason. What if I say, like, okay, can you please still have the child and I will take care of it? Either I will take full custody, or you can sign the rights away. If the child turns 18, they still want to. There's so many circumstances, and I'm not trying to talk, in absolutes right now. But that's just how I feel. If you disagree, let me know respectfully in the comment section. But this was a very interesting conversation right here. And, she said something like, if the child had a birth defect and you knew before they was born, what you want to abort the child. And he was like, F no, I would still love the child if it has 3 legs, transgender. And I'm just like, okay, 3 legs. I don't know. I've never been in that situation before. But you also have to think about the trauma that the child may go through if they do have 3 legs or 3 arms. I don't know. But this was very interesting. They were talking about Plan B, and I think we've all done that before. But Zanab was like, not Zanab, but Nancy was like, hey, even if, Down syndrome is pretty hard, all the complications in learning. And I will say this, like, and this broke my heart. I don't know what I would do if we knew that the child had some serious birth defect or mental condition, before the child was born. I just remember a number of years ago, I was picking up some food, and when I went in to pick it up, it was a black woman, a black child, black boy. He had some type of condition I have never seen before in my entire life, to where he had to wear some type of helmet or neck brace, and he just couldn't stop moving around. He couldn't stop moving. And he was in the back of the car. His mother went in and got the food, and as I got back, we parked next to each other. And as I'm either eating my food in the car or looking at my phone, she got in the car, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but the little boy just kept gyrating his body and banging his head against the back of the seat, and I can hear him screaming and making noise from inside his car, from inside their car to my car. And I just remember looking over at the mother with her hands on her face like this, crying. And the boy was maybe 7, 8, 9 years old. And, I was just like, oh my God. And of course she loves her child, but, it's, you're not able to do normal things. Like it's, and I'm not judging anybody if they want to, if they have an aborted child, if they want to abort a child because they don't want to go through that. I don't think that makes them a bad person, in my opinion. I don't. I mean, there's just so many circumstances. I remember when I was in college, I was working at a shoe store. I was helping a customer, and her son, I don't know if it was Down syndrome. It wasn't Down syndrome, but he had some type of mental condition as well. And he was a bit exaggerated. And she started talking to me about it, like, yeah, he has some condition. I don't remember the name, but this is my only child, and I love him so much. And she was crying because she was hurt. I think she was embarrassed. There's no reason to be embarrassed, but I know she was stressed out. I know that when she goes out with her child, she's tired of all the attention that she's getting, whether it's negative or positive, And it's just sad. And Nancy was kind of just saying here, like, and I'm not judging Bartise, like, he just hasn't experienced that before, but I can tell Nancy has experienced situations to where, there are special needs children. and that can be really emotional draining. And so I don't knock them, either one of them, for their feelings, but it is a very, very super duper important conversation to have, and I'm really glad that they had it. Now, this last scene right here, I like this. You know, beautiful. Man, this is a nice crib. That's a nice house. You know, they definitely got, you know, some bread. You know, they're living nice. Everybody is all like a model. I'm laughing at the brothers and the cousins right here, how they're not really approving of Brendan right here, and I'm glad that he took a drink. You know, but when he was talking about the food, and I think I have the image shashuska. I don't even know what that is. He was, oh, you said that? And that's when they start coming around and liking them. You know, so this is pretty cool. I like all this. I like the questions. They're talking about religion and faith and culture and all of that. But my favorite part is when the ladies left and they're like, okay, let's have a nice male conversation. And then one of the first things he was like saying is, you know, okay, hey, I just want to let you know, Alexa is not going to stay married to some chump. And then they cut the credits come, and I like that. And so that's pretty dope. I was also laughing because he was like, I don't have a car. He was like, no, he does have a car, a vehicle. And I was like, oh, yeah, I have an SUV. And I was like, yeah, you got to have a car. You know, that's just, you know, a crib, job, and a car. You know, that's the basic things that a male needs to have before they try to date anybody. But I really enjoyed the episode, guys. And if you want to see my recap for episode 5, you can click right here. And if you want to see my recap for episode 7, go ahead and click right here. Thanks for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery. That's just my opinion. Subscribe and help me reach 50,000 subscribers. Peace.